most of you are only playing Diablo 4 like me for the last few months when it comes to the Diablo sphere, and you haven't really been playing Diablo 2 or Diablo 3 or Diablo Immortal or some of the other stuff as we all kind of fell off of those games waiting for Diablo 4 to come out and be that next big thing. Well, I'm so frustrated right now because Blizzard today has dropped the patch notes for what is going to be the next season of Diablo 3, which is going to be the last season of Diablo 3. And the reason it has me frustrated is in a good way and a bad way, because they're doing some really, really cool things. And the frustrating thing is, why are we 10 years late on doing these things? And why are we doing this right at the moment that Diablo 3 is going to end? So the next season coming up for Diablo 3 is going to be the final season that they like fully support the game, where they have new content and they bring new things to the game. It's going to go into maintenance mode where they just kind of reset the ladders every few months, but they're not going to be actually supporting Diablo 3 after season 29, which is going to be coming up soon. And the reason this relates to Diablo 4 is I hope this doesn't happen with Diablo 4 as well. Like right when Diablo 3 starts becoming an awesome game, it's the end. It's too late. It's like already over for Diablo 3. This stuff needed to happen back in like 2013. But the reason that it's going to be so epic is because they are doing two things in particular here for season 29 that Diablo 3 players have been clamoring for unanimously for years. And that is going to be a solo self-found mode. Look at that. They are finally bringing that to the scene where people can do both softcore and hardcore solo self-found and not have to worry about trying to fit into the group XP meta if you don't have like a top clan or a bunch of friends to play in. A lot of people like to do that mode, and they're finally going to be officially supporting it within the ladder of the game with separate leaderboards and everything. And then also, they're going to be doing a Paragon ceiling. So if you are a Diablo 4 player, that's what I mainly cover here on the channel. But a Paragon ceiling is going to kind of cap the amount of power you can get from just farming experience. So it's kind of like in Diablo 4 where they cap you out at level 100, and then after that you could only get better gear. Well, in Diablo 3, they had a Paragon board here where you could just kind of keep going, infinitely scaling. Well, not infinitely, because it would get harder and harder to get new Paragon points, but it was very realistic to get to 2,000, even 3,000 Paragon within a season. And if you weren't grinding XP like the most insane grinders in the world, you would just never be able to catch them because their Paragon was so ridiculous, and Paragon was such a massive source of power. So in the Diablo 3 community, players have been saying for years and years, like 8 years probably, like, why not do something to cap this Paragon? Paragon's a really cool feature in Diablo 3. Keep it in there, but just like after people farm up that certain amount of Paragon, why not cap it out and then let people just kind of focus on their build and their gear and start competing in the leaderboards that way by getting better and better gear within their character? And that's exactly what they do in Diablo 4. It's just about getting to level 100. You max out. You can no longer get more power by farming XP. You have to kind of work on your build or start an alternate class or compete in other leaderboards or whatever. There's not leaderboards in Diablo 4, but that's what you would do. You would kind of cap out your power, see what rank you can get, then go to a different class or something. And that's kind of what people are probably going to do here in Diablo 3. But the reason I'm frustrated is why? Why do we have to wait until the end of the game to find the Diablo 3 has been hitting home runs? The altar mechanic on the last season was awesome. They've been doing really fun things for seasons and adding really fun things to the game. Why do we have to wait until it's over? That's what frustrates me, and I hope we're not sitting here in 2032 talking about like, wow, Diablo 4 is finally giving what everyone wanted and finally doing what is going to make this an epic game, and then by then it'll be too late. We'll be on Path of Exile 3 or something like that when these games finally give the players what they were clamoring for from the very beginning. Solo self-found could have easily been added 6 or 7 years ago. The Paragon could have been adjusted 5 years ago. Blizzard has the resources, they have the money, they have the team. So it's like I have a mixed emotion of positive and negative, because on one hand, it's super positive that Diablo 3 is going to have a fun hyped up season for its last season. But then I'm just frustrated because I'm like, why? Why couldn't this be here in 2015? And I could have been doing videos and having fun on all of these different seasons with these fun mechanics like the altar and the solo self-found and everything that would have made Diablo 3 an amazing game. And that would have snowballed more traffic. And then Diablo 4 would have been even crazier and even better because more people would be interested in it. All of this stuff. And it's like, why? Why couldn't it come sooner? And sorry, it just frustrates me. But it's not all positive with the Diablo 3 patch notes here. There was a couple L's. Like they've got down here, they're adding a couple new monster affixes, and I don't know what they're thinking because they're doing ones right here. Create an area of effect around the mob that reduces player movement speed by 65%. And cooldown reduction. So like that's not going to be a fun mechanic to play with in the game. And then they've got this resource leak one right here where hitting a player removes 65% of their maximum resource. Like everyone hated this in Diablo 4, so let's go ahead and add it to Diablo 3 where everyone is also going to hate it as well. So they do have a couple L's on new mob affixes. And then the Paragon ceiling, while it is a positive thing that they're going to be doing it, it is definitely a negative thing because, so they say right here that they're going to be capping it at 800 Paragon. You can only assign a total of 800 Paragon points. So if you only play Diablo 4, this would be comparable to them saying max level on Diablo 4 is like level 60 because you can hit Paragon 800 on like day 3 of a season. So they're making XP irrelevant within the first week of the season, and that is super weird and interesting. I mean, I guess that's the same thing. The hardcore grinders on Diablo 4, XP is irrelevant in a week when they hit level 100, but that's a super weird cap. That's not what anybody wanted it to be. People don't want the people that are like botting and getting these crazy paragons like 2800 or 3200 or whatever. If I was setting the paragon limit, I would set it at 2K. You can still play the season for a long time and get a lot of value out of grinding XP and get rewarded for that. But after 2K, like at that point, let's go ahead and level it off and let's just start pushing leaderboards and focusing on our gear. But the nice thing is that they do say down here that we are going to choose 800 as our initial starting point and would appreciate feedback on this cap. There are a few changes within the Paragon system to keep in mind, and they're adjusting some of the way you spend points and stuff. But I would assume that they are definitely going to address that 800 cap. That's going to be very negatively received. They're probably going to end up settling, like, they probably won't do 2K like I'm saying it should be. They'll probably end up changing it to, like, at least 1,000 or probably 1,500, something like that. 800 is just way too low. There's some people, I think, that hit 800 before they even go to bed. Like, the season launches, and they hit Paragon 800 before they even stop playing, like 17 or 18 hours into the season for, like, the hardcore experienced blasters. But yeah, I just wanted to turn on the camera and start recording because as I was reading some of this stuff, I got so frustrated and I was like, I hope we don't see this happen with Diablo 4 as well. I hope we don't see 10 years from now finally getting the things in Diablo 4 that we all want and we know would be able to retain players and be a lot better because, well, you know what? To be honest with you, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to start doing Diablo 3 videos. Because if we pull up the Google Trends data comparing the blue here of Diablo 3 and the red of Diablo 4, after Diablo 4's spike, when it settles into its normal player base, it's going to be like 12 to 20 times as popular as Diablo 3, but Diablo 3 is in a dormant phase right now. They are waiting for the next season. Diablo 3 is going to spike up to a 5 or a 6. Like, this is crazy to think about, but Diablo 3 is going to be like 1/3 as popular as Diablo 4. How insane is that? And there's probably like 45 times the videos and content creators for Diablo 4. So honestly, for a creator, it could actually make sense to start doing some Diablo 3 content given the hype of the new season and all of that, and moving forward if they're going to actually add some of these features like solo self-found mode. But the unfortunate thing is we're not going to be getting new content or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to be sticking to mainly Diablo 4. I don't know if I'm going to dabble in Diablo 3 or not. In terms of videos here on the channel, probably going to be hoping they fix Diablo 4. And I will give Blizzard credit. They're doing really cool things like interacting with the community and doing developer chats, campfire chats. They are interacting with different content creators and people within the community. So I do have to give them credit. I don't want to bash them. They've always been super nice to me, and they are trying. But I hope this is a good lesson of how positive all this stuff is going to be received for Diablo 3. And it's like, please don't wait 8 years to do this for Diablo 4. Obviously, you can see from the trends that we need it now. We need it before Diablo 4 kind of fades into the wind. We need some of these things hitting the scene and keeping people loving Diablo 4. So let me know your thoughts down below. I appreciate all of you. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you soon in the next video. Peace.